A very big thanks to duduspreeofficial, the first and only truly Pan-African radio. I do a very huge salute, just free of charge, salute to duduspreeofficial for this wonderful opportunity. It is always a pleasure to be here, and I am your honorable host, Damine. A very big thank you to everyone who is present in the house today. A very big thank you to you, ajokeade. You are always there, consistent and constant, very dynamic and wonderfully there every time. A very big thank you to Cypher. Your voice is loud and we like hearing it. A very big thank you to Ojo Oinlola. You are here to tell us what you know, truthfully, unbridled, loud and clear. And we welcome you to today's edition of African Youth Parliament. Today, we'll be talking about dressing. Today we are talking about the effects of colonialism on Africa. So today is the part 2, and we're talking about dressing 2.0. Last week we had the discussion about dressing, and it was an extensive discussion. We couldn't even conclude it because it kept going on and on and on and on. We can now see that it is a topic, it is something we really need to address. On African Youth Parliament, we always talk about things that most people avoid. We talk about things that people overlook. We talk about things that people ignore. We talk about things people are afraid to talk about. But this is African Youth Parliament, and we talk about everything Africa. We welcome you to today's show. A very big thank you for Duduspray. You see duduspreeofficial there. Download it. Very easy to download. And you can enjoy us 247. Unbridled, unstoppable, unstopped entertainment, day and night, 247. You can always have Duduspree entertainment. Educative content too as well. So it's a very big pleasure to have you here. So today, like I said, we're talking about dressing 2.0. Dressing in Africa. Colonialism has affected Africa in many ways more than one, and dressing is just a tip of it. But dressing is the most visible one. It is the first thing you see. It is the first thing you see. We have noticed, I was reading about dressing, researching about dressing, and I've discovered lots of things during this week. So I noticed that in the European countries, their dressing has not changed in over 600 years. Apart from the time when they used to wear, rags, where they used to wear things that we couldn't see, which was thousands of years ago. What they still put on is what they still put on. We still have people in Scotland who still put on skirts. We still have many people who still dress in their beautiful big regalia in Western countries. If you go to Asia, we still have our people there. Even in India, you see people still putting on those big clothes. Of course, there are some changes, but it is still right there. They still put on their clothes. So, and if we go to Chinese, to the Chinese people, if we go to China, we still see that there are people who still put on their normal clothing. There are changes, but it is still consistent. So, but in Africa, our clothing has changed over time, even not because we are even kind of stubborn. Some of us are stubborn. The changes have been too deep. But now, last week we mentioned schooling. When you go to school, you see putting on uniform is Oyibo attire. They put on the clothes of the colonial masters. And even in everything they do in churches and all, it is the colonial masters. So, during the European imperialism, Europeans, they went to great lengths just to prove that they were superior to non-whites, which are the blacks. They wanted to prove that they are superior to Africans. And so in African, they did this by continuing to wear their own clothes that is fit for their own climate, such as woolen suits and dresses for their women. Eventually, they even suffered our own weather. They didn't stop putting on their own clothes, but they tried to ensure that we stop putting our own clothes. Like Ojo Inola mentioned last week, telling us to put on suits in this hot weather. Even Cypher, I said the same thing. And so on and so on. I can talk about this for one good hour, but I am not the one here to talk because we have our wonderful speakers in the house. We have our wonderful panelists in the house. So let's start by calling one of them to speak. So, okay, let's start by calling one of them to speak now. So, Ojo Inola, if you're there, please, in the house, tell us, what do you think about the effect of colonialism, in particular, dressing in particular? So what is your say on this? What do you want to say about this? Please, let's hear you speak. Thank you very much. You have about 2 minutes because our time is ticking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Based on this topic we are dealing with, although I won't say much today because I've said many last week. I said this colonialism stuff actually has gone so far to the extent whereby we've forgotten, we are Africans, we've forgotten our real culture. Honorables, can you hear me? We've forgotten our real clothes, our real attire. Now we need to put on the clothes of the white guys before we can do anything. If you want to work now, once you want to work, they will tell you you need to dress corporate. What do they mean by dress corporate? This is what they will say. They said you need to put on suits or shirt, the clothes of the white. So is my own dress not corporate? Me, me. Is it our native, our own African wear now? It is not corporate, it is incorporate. But them to be telling you that no, you mean like you need to wear suits. Under this hot weather, you want to kill me? Under hot weather, you're telling me to put on, I'll put on shirt, jacket, then I'll put on suit on top. Inside hot weather, it's very wrong. They'll tell us, even our kids now in schools now, they put on these white people's dress. They sew that clothes in the white people's style because shirt actually this is not our own wear. It is for those white people. They sew it in their own style. Most of our dress, even if you want to do wedding now, it is this. It's still the same thing whereby you need to do it in churches too now. Even religion, this so-called religion Ghana has made it to go to that extent as well, whereby even if you go to church, you are only permitted to put on native just once in a month. Which type of religion? I don't know the type of religion that will be telling me that I need to ignore my own real dressing and I need to start putting on the clothes of the white people. I can only wear my own real dressing just once in a month, which is just 12 times in a year. To me, this is something that is very wrong, and we really need to wake up. Now we are not like we don't develop our own clothes anymore. We don't develop our own clothes. It's even hard to get African clothes just like that now. We don't really develop our own clothes. Whereby if we Africans now, we even have the problem in our own body. If you want to get clothes, now instead of us getting it here, we go to the white man's place to get our clothes. If I want to build a clothes store now, instead of me to build it in my own country, I'll go to the white man's place. So how will I even develop? So we need to even wake up. Our clothes are really good. And we Africans, we are the type of people whereby we don't dress anyhow. We don't dress anyhow. This colonialism now has made it to the extent whereby people dress anyhow. They dress anyhow. They feel there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Imagine now, people are not training their own kids, putting on something that will really expose their body. Someone will put on a clothes that will expose his body like 80% of the body will be outside, just 20% will be covered. So next time, because you want to swim, you put on one swimming suit that will expose your breast, your bum and everything. It is, to me, it is very wrong. I did not say you should not swim, but at least the swimming suit you put on, it should be a bit decent. Me, my own wife cannot wear something like that. They cannot wear rubbish. I said I was arguing with someone on TikTok because there's a celebrity. She wanted to swim and she put on one type of swimming suit whereby all her body was really exposed. The celebrity has given birth to one kid, and she's imagine. And people were arguing with me that no, it doesn't mean. I was like, wait, can you dress like this because you want to? She said yes, and I was like, don't worry, I've lost the argument. All because she said she can dress like that. So this stuff has even made it to the extent whereby we even wear rubbish now. We are these white guys that put on clothes like this. It might not mean to them. Their own culture might not tell them that no. But my own culture never told me that we should expose our body, especially when you are married. When you are married, there's some certain parts of your body whereby it's only your husband that has the right to see. And do you know, even if you expose your body too much, it won't be precious because the body that your world has seen already, then what's so precious about that? That's it. So, but now we're not copying those guys, whereby those guys, there's always code. They need to cover their body. But once it's summer, they can expose it, and it doesn't still mean to them. But yeah, now we're not copying them. We're not copying them. We need to put on their dress. And now, if you don't even wear those guys' clothes, they feel you are local. They feel you are local. If you don't wear their clothes, now we've forgotten our own real things. They've even, because of the name of religion too as well. Now, all the name of religion now, our own real clothes, listen, they've stopped it. So we really need to wake up. That's the solution. We need to educate people. I was asking someone last week that Africa before colonialism, and Africa after colonialism, which one is the best? They said it's Africa after colonialism that is the best. And I was like, wow. So we need to educate people like this because many people don't know the truth. Even me, I was lost. I never took all these stuffs. I never took them serious at all. But thanks to Joy and Dudu Spree, that I woke up. So we need to educate people. We need to let them know what the truth is. We really need to do what we are meant to do. We are Africans and not any other people. We need to act as Africans. These white people won't copy us. So we don't need to copy them. Let's be ourselves. So thank you very much, Honorable and thank you very much, Dudu Spree FM, the first and only Pan-African radio.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dudu Spree. Thank you very much. Too. You know, it's a pleasure to hear you speak. It's a pleasure to hear this outline point. I'm sure ajokeade is preparing for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just be rest assured. And I'm sure there are many people out there who have contrary opinions to what you've just said. If you have a contrary opinion, just send a message to Dudu Spree. Comment under this video, under this YouTube video right now. Just comment, and you can get the link to join us on the next parliament. So you can just join us, so you can have your say, so you can tell us what you think and tell us what you know. And it will be a pleasure to have you on the show. So now to say some things, Africa, the reason why we dress mostly this way is because the whites were trying to show that they are superior to us. Superior in everything, superior in religion, superior in tradition, superior in culture, superior in everything. Oh man, you are very stupid for doing egun. Tell you it is demonic. Call it foreign religion, but I still believe it's a foreign religion because number one, it will tell you not to dress the way you dress. Have you seen their choir putting on dresses? Go to Anglican churches, MR4, you see what they wear, the way they wear their uniform. Anglican churches, Catholic churches, and so on, Methodist churches. It is a proof that come Oyinbo Lile. You see the way they dress up. You see what they do. Even if you go to other like Islam too, for an example, you see the way they are afar, they are kini dress. It counters your own cultural dressing. It counters the way you dress. So it shows that this is not kini, that this one is foreign. It is not tiwantiwa. So in the dressing, in the talking, in the acts, in everything they do, one show this is not tiwantiwa. So, but like I said, I won't be the one to do all the talking today or to do most of the talking today. So now let's call on our next speaker, Cypher Ileyolua. So Cypher Ileyolua, it is time. Let's hear what you have to say so that our ajokeade will be prepared to give us the hot one. So let us listen to Cypher Ileyolua. What do you have to say? I'm sure you have already cooked some things. Let's have it, please.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's a pleasure to be here. We've discussed this last week, and we are still in this. I think it's high time we make people know, to let people understand why we are Africa. This Africa is not just a word we can just pronounce and be like, let's just follow what our colonial masters have done. I'm surprised every day when I go through my phone or social media and see people dress the way they like, forgetting the African true tradition and the African true true motive or what we believe is called Africa. So about talking about this dressing, I believe that before the colonialism, the first form of clothing were back clothes, foreskin, and hides, and the rest of the body adorned with beautifications, marks, and color pigments. Like there was day I and my brothers were discussing about this popular artist, a female artist, which her name is Iniko. She sang the song with Jericho. Then we were like, wow, this the girl sang a song very unique and she portrayed this African culture with the marks on her face. Africans then we use the marks as beautification, not gold, not silver, not this kind of chains. It is the mark, the beautification of their face that makes us beautiful. So about this dressing has affected Nigerians in so many ways. I can't even say this is what I can not say now. Okay, now this is it. Do you know there are some tribes in Nigeria that still walk naked, like the Koma people in the middle of Nigeria. They still walk naked. They are still naked. They only cover their part, some part of the body with leaves and do nothing. I'm like, wow. So we still have some people, even the Kambari people, do the same. So when we are talking about dressing, they want us to just erase our true African culture and cultivate their own habits. Like me as an African, and forgetting the fact that I have Agbada, I have Gansiki, then now swinging on to their own style of clothes, wearing suit. Imagine if the whole Nigeria begins to wear suit every day. When we wear suit every now and then you're wearing suit, you're wearing t-shirt. Omo, just erase the name Nigeria and just start calling it maybe United States of America. Because we're no longer Africa. This word Africa, okay, the last time I checked, I realized that in the Bible says that God created man in with sand. And the time I checked, though, the sand is still brown and black. So we are black. The black is the true color. To me, black is just black defines everything, not this kind of way. The day I walked into someone's shop, a dry cleaner shop, and it was celebrating clothes. I'm like, oh, so you also practice racism? You are celebrating the black from the white to wash. So that's the current that's the thing now. So this dress has gone a real long way. Like I respect the Fulanis for their culture. You see them with you see their girls with their short skirt, white, and the top is a blouse is like, let's say, a crop top, white blouse, a short sleeve, and the design, like, very spectacular. The color is just white, blue, and red. Yes, exactly. For the Fulanis. And the Idoma people, the Benue Idoma, they put on red and black, like it's like a strip of red and black. Also, the Tifi put on black and white. So it's like, okay, when we say tradition, it's like that word, we don't know the meaning of that word. It means the way our forefathers, our own forefathers, has been doing their own thing, the way they are doing their things, the way they dress. So we are not, you are not telling me to stop the way they dress and start dressing like you. Imagine, okay, I should just wake up one day and see my grandfather wearing suit. I'll be like, I'm going to kilo shele. I'll see my grandfather who puts it on tie. Baba is local money, because in my own farm, in our own village, we have farm whereby they put on any baggy or those big clothes when they're going to farm. So I will not see my grandfather putting on suit, tie, and my uncle putting on bow tie, carrying baskets to the farm. Never standing right itself. So that's just imbibing this our true African culture. The way we dress, I like this dressing. Superb. In fact, I've stopped wearing some clothes. I stopped wearing jeans. I stopped wearing suits. People, yeah, I work in any computer office and I tell them to wear suits. I'll tell them about it's that I'm wearing my normal t-shirts and trousers. I can't be wearing suits. Jeff Pamini. Me, it's a suit. No, no suit. I have no suit. I wear kembe every day. So I beg. I'll be happy if you can start wearing our native clothes, in fact, in offices. Nobody but like come and show you. To be sweet too. Very, very. In fact, there's fun in you portraying your Africanism. Africanism is just fun. Everything, like, our culture is just the perfect way of life to me. Perfect. Not you telling me stop this and start doing this one, don't wear this one. That might be wearing tie. Mr. Ojo, you to be wearing suit every day. I pity you. Don't be responsible. By the time the sun is to go to, drain your brain, then you know the God is good. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. Thank you very much. This way.
Right. Thank you very much, Sci-Fi Degelua. I really appreciate that. You know, it's a beautiful thing. But we, I would like to say, okay, I'm having feedback. Okay, I would like to say that we're not just trying to say that. We're not saying that the clothes of the white is bad. We're trying to say making it the way, making it the norm is the wrong thing. Making it the norm is the wrong thing. Like now, you have already normalized putting on their clothes. And when I put on Kembe outside now, people look at me like, what's going on? You know, they're making their own, the way of life, the way of dressing. Like their own dressing is now what we have to do. If you don't dress like them, you have not dressed. If you don't put on what they put on, you have not dressed up. So that is now the issue. You know, when you have to be in the consciousness that when you put on Oyibo clothes, you are putting on Asho Oyibo, you are dressing like them. You have to be in the consciousness that right now you are transgressing. You understand? You are putting on another racist cloth, the cloth of other people. Understand? Because if you see them even putting on our own dress, they will have that consciousness like I'm dressing like an African today. So when you put on their own clothes too, you have that consciousness like I'm dressing like a white man today. And we should just be aware of that. We're not trying to marginalize or anything. We're just trying to come to the consciousness of Africa. Let Africa, how will they even know you're an African? They will go wash on what African before looking at your skin. If you're in the dark and all they can see is your clothing, if a mannequin, a white mannequin now is putting on a cloth, they will know that this is an African dressing. You understand? So, and yeah, that is just what that is what we are trying to explain. So now we are welcoming our very big panelists to the house, to our panelist Adekemi Adetoye. That is an African name, and we're happy to have you in the house today. We're so happy to have you in the house today. So now let us call our very own ajokeade, our panelist ajokeade. So please let us hear from you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, many thanks to everybody, and I am happy, excited to be in the house today. African Youth Parliament all the way. This matter we are talking about, in fact, I argued it in a bigger congregation where religious people were. I've done that severally. When we are talking about dressing, we cannot take away culture. But when you are talking about culture, you cannot take away the contemporary way of life. So what is contemporary right now? Check us out on the continent of Africa. Are we truly Africans? No. We are right here speaking an alien language. And I beg your pardon, the person that told you Christian and Islam are not foreign religion, they just told lies. The fact that you want to justify your faith or belief does not mean you should petition. You should tell blatant lie. 2,000 years ago, where was Islam and Christianity on the continent of Africa? They were nowhere to be found. So were our fathers not existing? Do they not have means of communicating to the divine being? Of course they did. So the fact that we have decided to Africanize Christianity and Islam does not make them ours till eternity. So I just said I should digress. And that's also the effect of colonialism. Because we have been made to believe that that which is foreign should be ours. It shouldn't be mine. The avatar I'm using today is just to respect the person. Somebody created the avatar for me. In fact, it's been months that I've seen the person, but he made the avatar for Ajoke. That was my first avatar. I've created other avatars for myself with funky braid and the rest. But this one is just to respect the first person that taught me how to create avatar and made one for me. That's how I always use it. But if you check it out, this is the state of an African lady today. My avatar showed who we are. our skins are black, even though we are trying to bleach it. But thank God, you will see the way Pan-Africanism is coming back. Even they began to make, the foreign companies, they began to make cream for the brown skin. I give it to them. They are smarter. Why we are jettisoning our own? So we cannot absolve ourselves from the reality. Ó ti bá wa already. Colonialism is eating deep into our fabric, and colonialism has become a norm to the extent that it is difficult for you to identify with your own self and reality. We cannot just come and say it is not, maybe we should change. How will you change? I am more comfortable in my spaghetti strap. I am more comfortable in my two-piece bikini to swim. I am more comfortable. Some of us are nudists. Nudity and nakedness, they are two different things. Yes, the part of Nigeria where they are not wearing clothes, the part of Africa where they are not wearing clothes now, they are not naked, they are nudists. And does their culture permit it? Yes. Even you will see that in places where they practice nudity, where they are nudists, they don't even go about chasing pants and skirts like we do where we claim to wear Iromefa. Kudos to Olami. They say Tobaro Romefa Mushima notice. And when our women, when our ladies go to swim, there is a conservativeness we have in Africa that is no more now. When we go swimming naked, sir. Was it not just wrapper we go with, the ladies, the maidens? We swim naked. We don't have any wrapper on our body. But the only thing is, the ladies go together and the male go together. Not like now that we go to the beach and then you see everybody together. And when we have religious rights that make us mix together, we wear clothes, cover our private sensitive body. I will put it to you, clothing is not ours. Yoruba is just, we are just fortunate to be part of the tribes that we had Orunmila, we had Ifa, we had Osoyin that helped us to create all this thing. We had Ogun. But others do not have it. Should we now say they are naked? They are not naked. They are just nudists. So by the time we begin to think this way, we would not have issue with dressing up as an African. You see, I am saying this because we have tend to forget the fact that we don't really wear clothes in Africa. The white man will wear clothes, yes, because the weather, but we in Africa, we tend to be more nudist than being naked. So when you decide now to wear clothes, please wear it appropriately. And if you want to go naked in a setting that will not make your next door neighbor to sin, so to say, in quote and unquote. So now we're going on the street. You cannot address dressing with your religious mindset. Dressing in Africa has no connotation with religion, but now religion has overshadowed the fact that we don't even take clothes as this serious before they came. Now that is why we now have issues like the Yorubas. We are the party going people, you know, we dress up, we are, but do everybody dress up in Africa? No, because today there are still naked tribes in Africa. So if you want to address it, so somebody who is coming from where they are just naked, come to Lagos, the person will be a nudist. So why am I saying this? Because we tend to overflow the issue that ladies will open. They will keep opening because they are trying to copy something that is alien to us. If I go swimming, I will not wear Iro and Bobasa. I will not wear danshiki. I will dress comfortably, even naked, beg your pardon. But the thing is, if I see a man that is not my man, that is not my husband, I will cover up. And that is why we still have these issues. Maybe by the time we go back to our basics, we will begin to have fun gatherings for ladies where they can express themselves. Not that a guy is there and I still want to express myself. It will not be possible. And the men too can, the guys can go express themselves. And they will also be able to be free. So like telling me to dress up when I go swimming, it's just like telling me to put a parachute. I cannot when I'm in the ocean. It's suicidal. So, it is a thin line that we need to tread cautiously, because if we do not fix our culture, if colonialism still takes the day, if we still go to places of work that the Oyibo man made, if we still have a system of religion that the Oyibo man made, we will continue to dress like them. Some of us, we wear clothes for clubs, to churches, because we don't have anywhere to go to. Clothes for swimming center, to the beach. We wear them to night party. We are just so messed up. But when we go back to our basics, we know the difference. Like there are some cultural festivities that we need to not wear Iro and Buba as a lady. You only tie your wrapper with your jar. There are two-piece wrapper as a lady. Ladies tend to dress, like the old leku, the young maidens wear. The wrapper, the two-piece wrapper, the Igbo and the other part wear. So no party, no tribe is exempted. No one is exempted. We have our own identity. But because we are trying to mix the white man, the religious mindset with our own culture, we have lost it. We need to go back to the basics. Before colonialism, before the advent of Islam, Islam came first to Africa. Before Islam came, what were we? If we weren't good, then we should check and fix it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ajokeade. I really appreciate this. I'm so happy to hear your voice, and I'm sure the house is so happy to hear your voice. To those listening to us on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, anywhere in the world, this is African Youth Parliament. And we're very happy to say we're discussing again the effects of colonialism on Africa, dressing. That is what we're treating today. And yes, I would just like to say something. In Africa, in Yoruba land, I realized that men and women don't swim in the same beach at the same time, in the same stream, river, anything, body of water. In fact, we have waters that are peculiar to women. Only a woman can go there. If you're a man and you go there, I don't know, either the man will just disappear or die, or a part of his body will not function ever again. And there are some that are peculiar to men only. The moment a woman steps there, her blood flow, like a menstrual cycle will cease, like forever, and nothing bring it back. So we had those things. I don't know why we had those things. Maybe just to draw a line, or for spiritual purposes, I maybe some things are functioning. That's not what we're talking about today. But again, like ajokeade said, women will not expose themselves when men are there. But now women will expose themselves even in the sight of men, even on social media. And it is alien to us. The reason why some of us are feeling, or most of us are feeling uncomfortable with this act, is because it is alien to us. We feel like, no, this is now it should be. Some of us are incarnate, of course. We've been here before, and we know that this is not how we did before. Like, so many things have changed. Coming back now, so many things have changed. So that is why the complaint is so much, and copying other people is just out of the picture. So if you are going to the beach to swim now, and I'm sure most people, you can't wear a and buba, but I know there was something our forefathers were putting on then, and they were definitely not naked in the presence of every other man. At least if I want to swim too, I won't wear agbada to go and swim. I know I'm gonna dress down, but not. It won't be nice to dress the way I should. I mean, to just dress down in the presence of every other woman, especially when I'm married. But I'm not married yet, though. But that's not an excuse. But I'm just saying, decency, and yeah, the matter of nudity, not nudity, of celebrating your own body. I noticed in South Africa, I was still watching a video there for yesterday of women that don't put on, they don't cover their chest. And then there's a sport they engage in. They will raise their leg, trying to stretch their leg into the air. I don't know why they do that. They'll be singing and clapping and dancing, and they are not putting on any clothes, so just a top that can't even cover their breast. I'm always like, wow, and I saw men taking pictures with them, like men in their tribe, standing behind them, standing beside them. Nobody was ashamed, nobody was feeling anyhow. And I was like, it is because that is what they do there. That is how they are. So that's their culture. That is what they do. So they are cool with that. But if one of them comes to Bariga and you're dressing like that, you understand? I even heard there was once a time when if you dress inappropriately, you will, okay, what we are sexually and sensuality screeners in Nigeria. Yeah, if I will go to the beach, I'm sure my is a nika to put on. And well, maybe that is why we now have poles in our own houses. But I don't want to dwell on that yet. But now, those women that are not putting on clothes in their own tribe, that is just how they are. There's a lot of things now. We're mixing up many things because we don't even know what was. So how would we understand what should be? So we have to, look back, understand the picture, then rebrand if possible. So, but we should not now adopt totally the cultures of other people. Like now, I don't know what's stopping people from wearing agbada. You see why? Do you know why AC is absolutely necessary in offices now? It's because of what they put on too. Because you'll be uncomfortable. You're putting on tie, knocking up to your neck. You can barely breathe. It's everywhere. Three-piece suit, or even more than three-piece sometimes, Putting that on, there's a singlet inside, then a shirt, then a tiny jacket, then the major suit, the major coat you're putting on top, that is how many dressings do we have to see you can't breathe. So you need AC, then a tie that is stopping air from even going to your chest. So you are not comfortable. But the CEOs, of course, as long as they're not having any official meeting, you can still see them strolling with agbada, especially if you're a politician, a big man. So what's stopping us from even putting on agbada and wearing that to office? That is now the questions. Fathers, okay. If we go to this issue of even building, research has made it obvious that our architecture then was even good. LDR to the earth. Number one thing in Africa is Mother Earth, Mother Nature, before we start considering our home. Because this is our home. It is very Africans now. We know when we die, we come back. So if we use this place, if you destroy this place now in this life, you will suffer it when you come back in the next life. If you cut down all the trees now in this life, what will you breathe when you come back in the next life? So if you destroy all the land, destroy everything, what will you use? That is why we don't do those things. But we shouldn't dig down because today is still dressing. So we should just put on what is peculiar to our culture. We should maintain it. We should normalize it. So not that when I'm wearing kembe and I'm wearing danshiki on the street, people will be looking at me like, who is this? And I'll be feeling uncomfortable because of the looks. You understand? And the other person just walking beside me, don't wash on you, but they feel like, wow, made well, people should find. And you understand? So now, then at the end of the day, I feel like, what am I showing? So this is just what we're talking about. So our panelists, Mami Adikemi, so do you want to say anything? Mr. Michael Gidingbe, welcome to the house. It's so good to have you here, and we're happy to have you here. So would you like to say anything? You can just signify, you can raise your hands electronically, and we can call you up. Or will you take over now, Mr. Michael? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. So we'll call you now, and then ajokeade. Thank you very much, Mr. Michael. You can have the mic.
Wow. It's my pleasure to be here once again today. Thank you for the organizer of this program. I always like going to where they promote my culture. That's an Africa, as a Yoruba man. What I'm going to say concerning our dresses and most of our own dresses. Anyway, Yoruba dresses always stand out in anywhere you go. You can see like the coronation they do yesterday with the king. You see how the Yorubas dress their own, clothes and everything. They always stand out. But what is there is that we still need to inform our people to let them know how to embrace our home identity, our own culture, our own most of doing our own things, because we will always stand out in everything. So we just need to promote it to our youth, our people, our upcoming one. So let them know this thing is our home. Tiwa náà ni. So we should stop copying another person region. You can't see any China maybe copying other people. They can copy, but they copy in technology. But for their own modes of dressing, and they'll do it on their own way. So still have a lot of things to do. There's a lot of advantages in our home, putting on our own clothes, letting people to know that this Yoruba people. You understand? This is an Africa people. I still only love the way Fela always doing his own. Always put on with, as one of our mothers said, Sister ajokeade, they say, we Africa, we don't always wear clothes. Not Africa, not all Africa. So there are some parts in Africa they wear, and there are some parts they don't wear. Like Fela, always with his own pints, go anywhere, like, even though you call it, answer you. So we need to embrace and accept our home. Okay, these are our own things. Our parents have made a lot of mistakes, do the religion stuff or something. Or more Christian, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Even there are some points safe. If you are going to some particular church, you won't watch TV at home. They tell you to watch TV is a sin. They tell you to do this is a sin. So we just need to know our orientation. We need to know how to put this in order, to embrace our own culture and our own modes of dress. Me, I always love to wear my own clothes as a Yoruba man, to put on my clothes. I always love it. So I won't say much today, just to take most of our time. And I greet Mommy Adekemi in the house. I greet everybody in the house. Thank you so much, Mr. Damai.
It's a pleasure to hear you once again, sir. We are very happy to have you. What's the difference between TV and ajokeade is already bombarding us? I like that. So, Mr. Michael Genegbe, it's a very big pleasure to have you in the house. I'm very happy to have you again. We are all very happy to have you. So, and Mommy Adikem, we are greeting you. So, please, ajokeade, we saw that your hand was up. Do you still want to come in?
Yeah, thanks so much.
Okay.
What I want to say is we need to de-emphasize sexuality and sensuality. Without sense of responsibility, we have attached so much to just the other room that we have lost the essence of being an African. The moment you see a lady, the first thing that comes to your mind shouldn't be sex. The first thing that comes to your mind shouldn't be the body part. But that is what is the reality today. That is anywhere. I had seen a church where they do Ifori ballet, that the ushers were coming to a lady with a big, well-dressed, but they're still saying that I was like, come on, are you guys crazy? The emphasis on body parts, private parts is too much, and that is why it is killing us. Songs, listen to our songs, lyrics, it's all about it. Watch our TV, movies, it's all about it. So even when you see somebody dressing innocently, portraying himself as an African or herself as an African, they will always, because that's what the picture you have been given. See, late Baba Fela Nicola Kokuti, we know they die out. Once a lady sees him, the person will just be thinking about the size of the down below. That's just it is maybe where I am coming from is our minds have been abused. I say we don't wear clothes. Majority of us don't wear clothes. When we go to have our bath in the river, we go naked, sir. we remove the wrapper, we tie the wrapper, the maidens tie the wrapper up, the small piece. It's just like two piece, swimming trunk. So why will my grandfather see a maiden in the olden days and still maintain his sanity, not going about chasing her in the even no matter what you wear, enter the water, everything, the whole body shape will come out, man or woman. So what kept them? Do you know where I am hitting is people will always be naked, people will always be nude till thy kingdom comes. I was opportune to see a clip of a tribe in Kenya where the missionary went to. They were naked, man. There was nothing was covered. Even their hair, they used mud. There's a natural therapy they use for their hair. And you see, when you check it scientifically, it was the best treatment for the hair. There's a way they cake the hair with mud, this clay that we have around. And they were still telling them about the scriptures, they were still giving their life to Christ, so be it, in quote and unquote. So what made those people, what made Christ accept them that now made him to reject me in Lagos? It shouldn't be. Why am I saying this? Is because we must be holistic when we want to address it. We must not just look at it from the point of a Yoruba man, from the point of an Igbo man. We must look at it from our reality. Put it to you, those places that they go to, they are not wearing clothes. Before you know it, they will say if they want to become worker, they'll be wearing uniform. Then they give them the white man's clothes. That is colonialism again. So when we want to address our issue, we must first tell ourselves that in Africa, we respect our women, we respect, the moment you begin to see the opposite gender as
that is what they do. And so now, any religion, anything that is telling me that I don't have to dress the way I am, that I need to stop being an African before I can serve their God, before I can be qualified to go to their heaven, I am not interested. That is just the rule now. Anyone that tells me to turn down my culture, my tradition, my way of doing things, and copy their way of doing things so I can be qualified, well, it is their God. So you have to be qualified to serve their God. But my own God has never complained about the way I dressed. He has never complained about my nudity. In fact, I can go to church as if I were from a tribe like that. I would have gone to church like that, and my God would not say anything. My God would be like, oh, welcome home, son. I tell you, she better take back, we know that. Ní ìhòhò láwáyé, ìhòhò la máa padà. So your God going back naked to himself, he won't mind. You're just like, oh, come in, son. Who knows if Eledumare is naked right now? Just basked in glory. So, but that aside, so today, Mr. Michael Ogedegbe, we can still see that your hand is up. No problem. So today we'll be bringing the show to a conclusion today. So Africans and dressing. So we should not allow the influence of colonialism in us. We should not allow the colonialism of that past to affect us. We can still see the present effect of colonialism, but we are the only ones that can change it. Let us wake up and wait the others. I can look at, in fact, I want to show them if I look at it, I just see shirt. I'm tying belt up and down, tying belt. Move life me, move out. It is sometimes very cute, but it's just not the way it should be. There are many African clothes that we can put on that will make us look even more wonderful, and it should be normalized. So I'm very happy to have the privilege to talk. Oh, okay, Ajokeade, please. We have our time is almost out. So Ajokeade, please, let's have you now. Thank you.
Yeah, a parting word to everybody. The white men's clothes are good. The Arabian clothes are good. The Middle Eastern clothes are good. In fact, I am a fan of the Indian style. A fan, they are good. Now, the onus lies on us to see how we can improve ours, to still portray our culture, to portray our beliefs, to portray our orientations. That means the fact that you want to be a Yoruba man shouldn't cage you. You must be able to express yourself. We have been designing, we have awesome designs these days, but let's not forget the fact that conservativeness is paramount in Africa. Let's cover what should be covered, open what should be opened at the right places. Thank you, sir.
That is a wonderful parting word from our very own ajokeade, and we really appreciate that. Thank you very much to every African listening to us out there. Be an African, express Africanism. And thank you very much, Dudu Spree, the first and only truly Pan-African radio, the expression of Africanism, entertainment and education, mixed, intertwined, and dished out to our audience, to our listeners out there. So thank you very much, everyone who joined us today. Those who listen to us live on YouTube, those who listening to us right now on Dudu Spree FM, we say a very big thank you. Those watching us right now on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are, we say a very big thank you. And to everybody who was present in today's show, in the room today, to Sci-Fi Lerioluwa, to Mommy Adikem, to Mr. Michael Ginube, to Lola, and to our very own ajokeade, we say a very big thank you. And next week, we'll be here again to talk about something even more interesting. We are considering discussing now the effects on colonialism on Africa. Now, there's something about our food habits, now our eating habits, what we eat. So next week, we'll meet again. Thank you very much. I am your honorable speaker, Damine. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye. Find our way. Today's MP still there. Remember, United we stand.
This is Duduspreeofficial FM, an African radio.
Emesere, Akwa Ibom, back.